Hey there, it's Tony and Kris. I'm Tony, Kris right here.
Hi.
And we are very excited to be joined by the winner of last season's The Voice, who's got her debut CD coming out, Danielle Bradbery. What's happening?
Nothing, just sitting here with you guys.
Life hasn't changed much at all, I'm sure, in the last year, right? You're just same old, same old.
Yeah, it's totally normal.
It's funny. I watched the show, and it was a pleasure to watch you do what you do, and not only because you're great, but because what a great representation of country music. You know, a lot of times in this day and age especially, some people who don't know what country is, who might watch a show like The Voice, they don't really get an honest look at what it can be. And you really gave that, week after week. So it was great for the whole format. So we thank you for that.
Oh, well, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it makes our job a lot easier.
Yeah, winning's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, winning is good.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience.
What went through your mind? You're out there, you're on national television, you've gone through all these weeks, people keep putting you through, and then you hear the words that you have won this show. What was the reaction?
The beginning, I always told myself, how far am I going to make it? And everybody around me, they've had so much experience, and I've had nothing like that. And I was already kind of picking, oh my gosh, they could win, and just kind of picking who I would want. And as far as I went, I'm like, oh man, am I gonna make it to top 3, or am I gonna make it to? Is this seriously happening right now? And when it got to the top 3, I was standing there with Swan Brothers and Michelle, and I was kind of looking around, and I'm like, are you serious right now? One of us is about to be crowned the winner of the whole season. And when they said, okay, in 3rd place, Swan Brothers, and it was up to me and Michelle, and I was about to pass out.
I was your heart just like bam, bam, bam.
Oh my God. And the 5 seconds that Carson was about to say the name, it felt like an hour. It was like I was standing up there forever, and I was just holding on to Michelle, and I'm like, is this about to happen right now? And when he said, and the winner of The Voice is Danielle Bradbery, I was just like, oh my God. My mind was just like, huh?
Now, having never won anything ourselves, at any point did you think about her, what she thinking about, or was that just you're just so overwhelmed at the moment?
She looked at me and she goes, this is it, and no matter what, we're all winners.
Oh, that's cool.
And she was like, dude, we've gotten here. She was really sweet and just trying to calm the nerves, and even though she was scared too, she was just, it's gonna be okay, and just just things like that. I'm like, oh, okay. And man, we were just kind of talking amongst ourselves and trying to calm the nerves and just kind of prepare ourselves for what was going to happen.
Here's a young lady from Texas who, dreamed of being a singer, and because of the world in which we live these days, there are opportunities like The Voice. Not that you wouldn't have made it without that, but talk about an accelerated process.
Yeah.
And you still pay dues because it's still a challenge. It's still stressful. There's still all the things you have to do. And
you had to work with Blake.
Well, that's what a nightmare. We've known that guy for a while. Let me
We
tell
hope
you.
you're in therapy already.
He's like the uncle you don't let your kids around.
Exactly.
So I'm really surprised how that works. But it's so fun, and it's fun to watch you because I've got kids. My youngest daughter is your age, and she loves to sing and all that kind of stuff. Not on the level that you're doing, but it's fun to see somebody like you, and you've made that happen. And now you are much like the people you looked up to, Martina, all these people. You are going to be that for other young girls. How does that feel?
That's so cool. I look up to Carrie Underwood, Taylor Swift, and finally got to meet her, according to Blake, like Miranda, and just getting to be face to face with them now, it's just like I look up to you, and now I'm in the process of being like that to younger girls. And when I do a meet and greet or anything like that, there's kids or even girls my age, you're my inspiration, and just hearing that, it's like I was just a normal girl, just like all of you guys. And that's so awesome how I can express through music and just express to everybody and make an impact on people. It's an amazing feeling.
And you listed some great names of people you look up to. Now, if you had said like Lohan or Kardashian or something, we'd have to have a little talk with you.
Well, that is nice to see somebody with a head on their shoulders doing this thing. You mentioned the single Heart of Dixie, which did very well, and that's very cool. And talk about a nice debut. Where were you the first time you heard that on the radio? Because that seems to, no matter how old an artist is, it's always such a cool thing when they're like, wow, that's me, that's my song.
Yeah, I was actually in my hometown going home, and I was in the car with my sister, and all of a sudden the beginning of my song comes on. I'm like, at first I didn't notice, and I'm like, wait a second, this is my song. And just seeing my name on the car and Heart of Dixie, and it was just, I'm like, this is real. I had to pinch myself a couple times, and then my friends text me, your song's on the radio. And I'm like, oh my God.
Who of your friends or your family is the biggest name dropper now of letting people know that, I'm related to her?
That's happened a couple times.
You'll have cousins coming out of the woodwork now you've never met.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I live in Arkansas. I'm like, oh.
Danielle Bradbery is our special in-studio guest from The Voice. Coming up, we'll wrap things up. We'll find out what Blake's like behind the scenes on The Voice and 60 Seconds. Hello there, it's Tony and Kris, our special in-studio guest, Season 4 winner of The Voice, Danielle Bradbery.
Speaking of The Voice, do you think Blake wins his 4th time in a row?
Man, we'll have to see.
Was there anything he did behind the scenes that makes him look smart that we never see?
We never get to see the smart side of Blake, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, Blake, he always joked around a lot. And
so ultimately, no.
Yeah, you're dancing around that.
There was nothing that made him look any smarter than he really is. Well, he's a great guy. It's fun for us to watch because we have known him for a long time, and it's been fun to watch him on this show and kind of see a side of him that he didn't used to show, which is a very caring side, a side that he genuinely has a big heart and cares about you guys. And
he's definitely, once he has his team, it's like, okay, let me protect you. And he's the kind of person that I've learned now. It's not where he gives the most attention to just only one person. It's like, I have all of you, and I'm going to help each and every one of you in their own way. And that's what makes it so special, because he's like, open his arms and I'll do anything to help you. So that was really cool and made Team Blake awesome.
I think he feels like this is something he has to do at this point because the life he's lived, he's just trying to get into heaven now. So, okay, now I'm just going to try to be as nice to these people as I can and make up for all those things I did. So, well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
The debut CD is self-titled Danielle Bradbery, out on November 25th. So make sure you grab that. And before we say goodbye, we would do one more thing here. So we close all of our interviews. It's called 60 Seconds, minute of rapid-fire questions. You don't think about it, just
first thing that pops in your mind.
Okay. I'm Mike Wallace.
I'm Morley Safer. I'm Ed Bradley.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Tony.
I'm Kris, and this is 60 Seconds.
What's a movie you can't turn off when it comes on?
This is a Christmas movie, The Polar Express.
What size shoe do you wear?
6.5.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Smacking.
Who's your favorite comedian?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
When do you do your Christmas shopping?
I shop a lot, so anything is like Christmas shopping.
When do you open your Christmas presents? Christmas Day or Christmas Eve?
Christmas Day.
What's the last song you bought on iTunes?
I bought the new Dan and Shay 19 Me and You. Ooh.
Be honest, do you watch the Kardashians?
I've seen them, but I don't watch them like yeah.
What's your favorite perfume?
I like Katy Perry perfume.
What do you never leave the house without?
Of course, my phone.
What's a big fear you have?
I have a big fear of bugs, cockroaches. Ew.
What's the first word that pops in your head when I say describe Blake Shelton? First word that popped in there.
Funny. I don't know.
And finally, what's a CD everyone needs to plan on buying?
Ooh.
Seems like there's one coming out on the 25th of November.
Yeah.
25th. Make sure you tune in.
Oh, Danielle Bradbery.
It's called Danielle Bradbery.
Right. Perfect.